Okay. You know, it's using a computer camera. You gotta have to, yeah, slow down a little bit. You don't want to jump too quickly because then your audio and your image won't match. It might be a little off, and it helps with the when you edit this stuff. Helps with the speed. Anyway, so let's go ahead and keep the continuity going with this, and we'll go through. This is kind of I guess my first. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna do. I'm really curious about these what this project specifically. So I guess this is the official trailer, which is interesting. So I wonder what the date's gonna be as far as the release. It might explains some of that, but all right. Anyway, let's get through this. All right. So this is just we'll start with 0, 3, 2, 1, and
Thomas, you seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here.
Hi.
Have we met?
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
Time to fly.
And if you are chasing rabbits,
If we want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to fly.
and you know you're too far.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still
I
fighting.
get it.
And why you will never give
I
up.
get it.
You don't know me. No?
I think I get it. Hold on.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Okay. So, you know what I kept thinking about? Remember that, you know that scene with Neo and he's talking to the architect? I kept thinking about that. He mentioned that there were other matrices before, that there were other versions of this, and you know, especially with the theme of with Marvel and the multi-universe thing. In a way, this is kind of a spiritual thing, because like that's not just a Marvel thing. That's like that's a culture thing now. Maybe they started it, but that's now becoming more of a thing. I think we're seeing this more and more. But how perfect for the Matrix to go with that? I think that's what they're going with it. There's so many places they can go with this. Is this the Neo? Because what I was thinking in my mind, I was like, is this the Neo from the one we're familiar with, or is this a different Neo? Because again, they say that there were other Matrixes or other versions of this. Is this just another version of what we've seen before? And the architect, when he was talking to Neo, it's just this is another Neo in which he's going to have to make these choices again. And again, because these might be variations, they might happen slightly differently. Maybe people look differently than you would remember them looking. Maybe circumstances are different, but they're very similar. That's what I keep thinking. If this is like because because we know the thing, right? Because like the whole thing about the Matrix trilogy is it's kind of a mystery about Neo, right? We don't know if he is the one. We don't know why he's the one. But all right, so because by that conclusion, we know that Neo is a part of the machine world. We know that's kind of, I think that's what it is, right? Like he was part of the machine world, which gives a reason why, like the architect and the Oracle, they had to come up with, like the Oracle it all feels like the Oracle, I guess, was on the human side, on Zion's side. However, in the making of the Matrix, the Oracle became somewhat of a mother figure, well, not only for the entire Matrix, but leaning toward the humans, people of Zion. Architect is more technical, so he's like the father, you got the mother, and they were anticipating human behavior, and so it was, I don't know, it was like Neo is a reflection of a divergent person. And I think either it's like he comes from the machine world. I guess they all, I mean, the Matrix, I mean, everyone's from the machine world in terms, if you can be plugged in, you're from the machine world. At least that's where a lot of your origins are from, right? I think specifically with Neo, it's like, I don't know if it's like, it's purely an anticipation of someone like Neo. I don't know if it's Neo itself. I mean, maybe they expanded a bit. It's a bit confusing. I'm not sure if it was very clear. I'm sure I mean, that guy said quite a bit in that room. I think it's like either Neo is either a natural diversion in which they just sort of, okay, so humans have these divergent people, so let's just orchestrate around that so they at least feel like they have something on their side. And the Oracle just kind of, the entity bit. The entity was biting toward that. So I don't know if like the Oracle's always kind of helping, or once help but it tends to lose because of the choices. Or is Neo like? Is it so much? Is it like? Because just because something could be a diversion doesn't mean that it isn't predictable, right? But it is a diversion, so you should expect something to be unpredictable in some variance, right? And so the Neo from at least the Matrix we saw, the version we saw, is one of the few divergents that was a little unpredictable, right? Because he made a choice that was a little different than the other ones. He made the choice to save Trinity and not the people. Not for the greater good, but for one person, which he called weakness, the architect. Well, because he recognized human vulnerabilities, and I guess a lot of us would probably save, like our mother or dad, opposed to the world in that situation. So I guess it's like relatable to the audience, but because of the way that the diversion tends to go, and that this diversion has a love for humankind, they usually up until that point they will always kind of go for the populace. Well, this one went for Trinity. I mean, and the weird thing is that the architect was telling him everything he was saying. I guess we've had this conversation before, so it's even through this conversation, you just chose to do that one. So Neo, of course, I suppose is making another choice again. He's doing this again to enter into the Matrix. And again, if this is the same Neo from the last, from the whatever Matrix number it was, version of Matrix that is, since we're talking about programs, so I guess it's not was, it just isn't in use. If it's the same Neo, then this could just be like somewhat of a, well, I mean, obviously this is a reset, but that's what they literally use. They use the word reset in, I think it's called Revelations, right? The third Matrix movie. They call it a reset. So this is a reset, but are these the same? These are obviously maybe clone projects. Well, these are projects that have been here, but in a different way. And they're the same people. That's also interesting. If this, and of course we got Morpheus. I don't know if this is like the same Morpheus or this is a different Morpheus. Is Neo different? Is it the same? Well, then again, I don't know. Obviously Keanu Reeves looks different as, I think Carrie Moss? Carrie. Trinity. They look different, obviously. For obvious reasons, they obviously look different, so I don't know. Well, that's a good point. But then again, I don't think it's relevant, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's considered this as a program. I don't know if that's relevant or doesn't really have to play into it. Besides, Neo didn't get the call until a different physical point. And here, you know, it could be, if this is the same Neo, then then the physical appearance of both Trinity and Neo makes sense. That also has to go in place somehow. Anyway, I don't want to go on. I want to keep talking. Anyway, John's World Black Clouds Media, and thank you.